There we go. I think we're streaming. Let me double check, everybody. Welcome to my site, Dana Durnford. This is Beautiful Girl by Dana. And we're trying to have a little debate about Israel and Gaza. There's a huge conflict there right now. And representing Israel is Yahushua, and he's got a potty mouth on him. I think it's a him. Just 1 second, folks. This is little boy Dana. And get this big huge conflict. Oh well, okay, I'll get that after. No worries. We got it. That's working out good. Let me unplug that. We drag that over here. So this is a conflict that's got no attention going on right now. And it's not really a war. There is no Palestine, fucking arseholes. And that's Yahusa. Now there's 5 million refugees outside of Palestine that are from Palestine. And that's how Israel created Israel. Is they created 5 million refugees. And so that creates a lot of conflict because there's 1 million in Jordan. Hang on, Yahuza. There's 1 million in Jordan. They're all over Syria, Damascus. They're all over the Middle East. And the Middle East doesn't have a lot of resources. And so Israel keeps creating more refugees and stealing land, basically, on top of this. And then keeping the land with the military. And now they're fighting against people that don't have any tanks, don't have any jet fighters, don't have any drones, don't have Black Hawk helicopters or F-16s, don't have 4,000 Abrams tanks. And, you know, there's no refugees from Israel, but there's 5 million refugees from Palestine. And we got the only person that shows up to represent Israel is borderline childish or insane, and we can't seem to get a reasonable conversation or a sentence out of this person. And they just scream, "There is no Palestine, you fucking asshole! It's Israel with a Y, land, and it's absolutely none of your business what I do in my house." There's no law that says I can't debate this, okay? Just because obviously you're from the religious. Well, let's talk about the religious side of all of this for a second. Israel paid 1 million ultra-Orthodox Jews to repopulate the land they stole from the Palestine. And of course they don't work, they don't go to school, only they study the Torah and the Talmud. And so they're a burden on society, period. Society pays all their bills. Society pays their health care, their travel expenses, their children's expenses. They study the Torah and the Talmud. I'm not 100% sure on which one is popular with them right now. There was the King Davis, we know. And they have this ideology themselves where they feel that they're entitled because God said that they are the chosen ones. Now, if you say that in Canada, they take you to a little room and they lock you up with a drip in your arm. But because it was said in the Bible, apparently, nothing else matters. Now, if you follow the Bible all the way through, what you find out is that the whole world turns against Israel. So never be angry at Israel, never be mad at Israel, because that's what they want, right? That's the prophecies. The whole world turns against Israel, and only the people in Jerusalem goes to heaven. And so that's why they have to ethically cleanse Jerusalem in their ideology, is because they don't want to fight with the Muslims up in heaven, because they believe in this little black book so much they pay 1 million settlers to scream verses of the Torah in the streets. Now Israel, during Cass led, killed 600 children. Israel, and I mean, you don't see the Palestinians killing the Israelis at all, period. But you see the Muslims, and then Israel uses Palestine to test all their weapons. They're the 6th biggest weapons exporter on the planet. And I was hoping there would be an intelligent Israeli conversation going on here, but all we got was Yahushua, and this person was over the top. I should have blocked him like I was going to earlier, but it's kind of entertaining because he doesn't make any sense. And he really does make Israel look incompetent and idiotic and stupid and remorseless and vicious and violent and stupid above all else. Everything he's got to. I'll leave them all there for you to come in and read after. But everything that comes out of his mouth is just belligerence, indignation that he's religious and there's nothing else matters, that the other 7 billion people on the planet are irrelevant as long as he gets his way. And if he has to do that by violence, and that's why he's here tonight, today, screaming profanity, when we're trying to have a debate. The title of the video is Live Israel and Gaza Debate. So, Gaza has no water. It has a little bit, but it's poisoned. Israel is releasing sewage into the communities all the time. Israel's prisons are full of children. Israel, remember, attacked the USS Liberty, and Israeli fighter pilots have come out about that. The U-boat captains, or the boat captains have come out about it. And at the same time Israel was attacking the USS Liberty, the Americans had 2 fighter jets on the way towards Egypt, and they were going to blame the sinking of the USS Liberty on Egypt and drag America into a war to kill more of the Goyams. They don't see anybody else as mattering. All they see is that they got a little black book, and the black book's prophecy is that the world will turn against Israel. So the more they do, the more salacious they are, like in the comments, for instance. The more they can turn people against them, the better it is for them, right? Ultimately, that's all they're interested in, is turning the world against them. And the easiest way to do that is have the 5 million refugees and create all the unrest around them. They were given a piece of land, they could have had it, and they went out in the 67 war. You got to remember, in the 67 war, the reason they attacked the U.S. Liberty in the first place was, as it was coming along the coastline, Israel was committing war crimes on the Sinai Peninsula. They had captured 1,200 Egyptian sailors and had made them dig their own graves and got down and machine gunned them and made the Egyptian soldiers bury their comrades and then jumped down and shot them. And they killed 1,200. Ray McGovern tells that story very well. And so, Iran has 49 USA military bases around it. There's electronic warfare going on there all the time, and economic warfare, just like Gaza, going on all the time. And Israel uses Gaza, it's like a parasite feeds on its host. And so all the land, where all the trees are, they take away the economics now of Gaza. So Gaza, in order to eat, it can only eat Israel products. Gaza is only allowed to export around 2% of its products because Israel fired 25,000 155 millimeter depleted uranium rounds during cast lead. Now, these 155 millimeter rounds got a 900 foot kill ratio. 900 foot. But Israel, during cast lead, and there's a purpose I'm telling you this, had made 200,000 text messaging to tell people to get out of their home. And when they got out of their home, they dropped in these 155 millimeter, 25,000 of them, with a 900 foot crater in the neighborhoods when people were outdoors, and then dropped white phosphorus over them while they were laying wounded in the streets. Just like, because that's their whole ideology is the world has to hate them no matter what, and so no matter what they do, it's irrelevant, right? Because that's the ideology of the Bible. And I can play clips for you. Paul Bentley today putting out, this is the prophecy that Gaza. Now Gaza, Hamas was created by Israel to overthrow Arafat, right? And to help destabilize Palestine, rather, and then overthrow Arafat. And then they leave Hamas there and fund him. That's what Israel is doing. To have a boogeyman. So you got 10,000 Hamas, 5 million refugees, and then the Israelis that are living there are dependent upon those 5 million never coming back. Because if it is, they're out of money. They're out of all that free money and free land and free homes and all those benefits all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden, because they don't care about anything, only fulfilling the prophecy of the Bible. And like Benjamin Netanyahu won the award last year for reciting the entire friggin' Torah. Right. So they don't get any more ultra-orthodoxic than that. And so the ultra-orthodoxic, as far as they're concerned, their whole job on the planet is to fulfill the prophecy that Israel will return. And it doesn't matter about the 5 million refugees because they got a little black book. And that's all that matters to them. That's their justification. There's no moral or ethics. Now, if you take an Israeli who someone insults somewhere around the planet, all the media fills up with, that was anti-Semitic! It was anti-Semitic! You're anti-Semitic! But 5 million refugees that Israel created, and as far as they're concerned, they're entitled to do that because of verses in the Bible. Literally, exactly, 100% like that, but in their Bible, right? And so they're trying to fulfill a prophecy that the world will turn against Israel. So it's very important the world doesn't turn against Israel. We just have war crimes trials and put these people in jail, right? Because that's what's really going on here. And just like, they attacked the USS Liberty and going to blame it on Egypt and sent 2 warplanes with nuclear weapons down there from the 6th Fleet in 1967, after the intelligence ship, the USS Liberty, had picked up the communications as they were executing the 1,200 Egyptian prisoners, which is a war crime. You can go down and exhume that now and have war crimes against the leaders, which were probably, most of the military upper-ranking governments right now participated in those war crimes. They were staging a coup. And so Gaza has been under air, land, sea embargoes for since Israel been there, but severely now since Operation Cast Lead also cemented the rest of it. Now during that period of time, from Operation Cast Lead to Operation Pillar to Cloud, where they went up against their enemy, which was the Hamas or whatever in Gaza, with Khazad rockets that don't even have explosive tips on them. Just a joke. It's a joke. 100% joke. They don't have directional capabilities or anything. It's just lobbing shit in, and that justifies Israel coming in with 4,000 tanks, 400 Black Hawk helicopters, fighter jets, white phosphorus, dime bombs, 155 millimeter, 900 foot crater making depleted uranium-238, right? So there's a lot of cancer in Israel now because of the soldiers using the uranium-238. So this is not about attacking Israel. This is only about war crimes, is what I'm doing here today. I'm not anti-Semitic because I'm talking about Israel. Please, you got any idea how many countries I've pissed off in the last number of years? Israel is fucking no different than any other. They don't get any free room. And what they're doing is they're testing all these years now their weapons. They're the 6th biggest weapons exporter on the planet. And they're testing all their weapons all the time on Gaza. Now Gaza, the population is majorly around 15, 16 years of age because they've incarcerated everything else. And they got around 7,000 children. They got all the children there, got a criminal record from Israel. All of them were bamboozled and railroaded and manipulated the entire time, so they can't have a government job down the road if a democracy comes that way, which is the worst thing that could ever happen to you. And Israel's always poor me. I mean, you got a couple of hundred nuclear weapons you haven't declared. You got chemical, biological weapons facilities you haven't declared. And you're doing all this in the context that you think you're special because you got a Bible. That you think because of a Bible that you should be allowed to go out and do whatever you feel like, whenever you feel like, and create the chaos, the 5 million refugees, and just discard them like trash, and that nobody's actually going to notice it, that nobody's paying attention, that nobody thinks that this is a direct 100% war crime that's provable in courts and is convictable in courts and will probably happen. Israel's not going to get their way where the whole world turns against Israel. That'll never happen. It's a fantasy to keep the money rolling in to the lazy, ultra-orthodox Jews, the headbangers, that have never worked a day in their life. Mind you, now they're getting conscripted into the U.S., Israel, which is Israel, military. That's a scary thing. These people fucking hate Palestine. Why would you want to put them in the military? These people have spent their whole life spitting on Muslims. Why would you want to give them a weapon? Why would you want to give them jet fighters or Black Hawk helicopters or ships? That's idiotic. They're no different than any other country out there. We got to look at this rationally. That Israel is a thug. It's the 6th biggest weapons producer on the planet, and everybody depends upon making weapons and selling weapons and stocks in the weapons. manufacturing, and they got to have conflict in order to sell weapons, right? You can't have a war without a boogeyman. And Israel is really good at drumming up boogeymen because they get a free pass because of the religious ideology, which doesn't really matter anymore. It was okay when nobody knew what was going on this planet, but now the world is aware, and there's so many other religions out there. Why should yours be any friggin' special? You say that you got to save the world from other religions, yet your religion calls for the end of the fucking world. Right? If there's a prophecy is fulfilled, the whole world turns against Israel, right? And then God comes down and destroys the planet, and only the people in Jerusalem, which is why they got to ethnically cleanse it, will get into heaven. So if there's Muslims left there, they get into heaven too. If there are Palestinians there, they get into heaven too. And they put these quotes out there everywhere you look. You know, I can start dragging up all the quotes. I got a list of them here. Let me drag up a few of them. And so the war machine runs on the Bible. It's using the people with that ideology to do their bidding for them and to create the conflict and to do it under the guise that it's that it's the proper thing to do because God said you're the chosen ones, whereas in Canada, if you say that, they lock you up in a fucking room and put a drip in your arm. And then when you try to have a debate about it, I got people that come in here and they just scream profanity and insults and harassment and stalking techniques. It's just gibberish. And that's the representation that you get from Israel, is the fools and the dummies showing up because they think they get a free pass, and no matter what they say, they must be right, where they can't even have an intelligent debate. They can't look at any of the facts I'm telling you and put that into the equation for some reason. That the 5 million orphans or refugees, or the fact that they're the 6th biggest weapons producer or misery producer on the planet, because that's what weapons do, they create misery. So the whole economic is based around creating fucking misery. Right? And enslaving and building a track, trace, and database system and selling that to countries to enslave them to take some weight off their shoulders, to take the eyes away from them, when they're the perpetrators and the biggest producers of this technology and the biggest pushers of it in the system. And they get a free pass because people don't bother to look any deeper. They're able to get away with some stuff. But people looking now, and nobody's really hates Israel. Everybody just wants to prosecute them for war crimes, for all the war crimes they're doing and continue to do, are being racked up now, are being noticed now. All their shenanigans are for nothing. It's a waste of time. The world ain't going to turn against Israel. Israel's not going to fill any fucking prophecy. Because people are too friggin' lazy to care anymore. We don't live in that Stone Age times anymore. The ideology worked for a couple of decades, but everybody's sick of it now. Everybody's worn out with it. Even the religious people only do it to pacify Israel and get a few extra bucks out of it. Maybe get a free visit or a free trip to Israel. So they just play it out. They're just all actors, literally. Israel don't have no choice. The citizens of Israel are prisoners. They're conscripted into the military. And so they're forced to go deal with it. And you know how peer pressure works, right? And then when you take the Milgram experiment, where if people think they're absorbed or absolved of their crimes, either through religion, like the Catholic Church does, go in and confess, or through authority, right? So the soldier, as far as he's concerned, he can't commit a war crime because he's doing it through the authority of the upper management, which are the crazies, right? Which are the ideology-driven Bible thumpers that make a lot of money off it, that buy the shares in the weapons manufacturing facility, and that the only spot they can use their weapons on real scenarios is Gaza, because there's 5 million refugees in Jordan. They got Jordan destroyed because they got so many refugees, over 1 million refugees in Jordan. Jordan will never recover. Israel has destroyed the country so they can have their little black fucking book, their idiotic, insignificant, stupid, dummy Bible book, because it calls for the end of the fucking world. I'm not saying that religion doesn't have a purpose out there. I'm just saying that a book that calls for the prophecy for the world to turn against anybody, and then God is going to come down at that moment and destroy the entire planet to protect Israel. That's protecting the fucking planet? That's protecting Israel. Do you got any idea how stupid that is? How big of a fucking fable that one is? How idiotic that is? But how dangerous it is when it's put in the context of a country is created because of a fucking verse in a book? When a country only exists because of a verse in a book? And that it wants to fulfill its prophecy so bad, it brought in 1 million of the crazies, the headbangers, the ultra-Orthodox Jews, gave them free fucking homes, $50,000 to get there. They couldn't get a fucking job anywhere else, so they went there. Right? They're using it, they're orchestrating it. Do the math on how much the houses cost. Do the math on how much it costs to fund these lazy cocksuckers, the ultra-Orthodox Jews, how much it costs Israel's citizens and the taxpayers and the donations around the planet. And you can go to any Israeli site and you see, donate to Israel, feed the hungry children. What the fuck are you talking about? The 28th wealthiest economy on the fucking planet, where you give 1 million people a free ride and you need fucking donations to feed the homeless when Gaza is starving. Gaza is fucking starving. From air, land, sea embargo, from economic embargo, from materials, right from school books and combs and shoes were banned. Because Hamas, which was created by Israel, might use it to make another fucking bomb. But no, it was meant to squeeze Palestine. Forget about the 5 million refugees for a second that are squeezing everybody else in the eastern countries, and that Israel makes money off constantly. Israel bombs the refugee camps because they're cowards. They can't fight people with weapons. They can't fight my fucking words either. They just got to come in and put gibberish there. But they can't fight. They can't go after Iran. Iran would fucking destroy them. They got 49 U.S. bases around Iran, but Iran is a threat. Shut the fuck up, man. You got 200 undeclared nuclear weapons we know about. You're fucking rogue as they get, but it's all about greed. It's all about money, and it's all about using a little black book to get away with it, to keep it alive for a little bit longer, to keep the money rolling, to make the bombs, to make the misery. You can't have peace on earth when you make fucking bombs. Okay? There's no peace on earth. There's no resolution. When you're the 6th biggest weapons producer on the planet and the biggest shit disturber on the planet. Period. And you disguise everything as anti-Semitic the minute somebody criticizes you. Go fuck yourself. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm pointing out what a thug you are and what a fucking bully you are. What a fucking creatures you have created by giving people free fucking homes and stealing other people's homes and creating 5 million refugees and forcing them into countries that don't have the natural resources to absorb it. That now they don't have no state. They don't have no fucking ID. They can't get a doctor. The children can't get an education. There's no fucking Israeli refugees. There's 5 million Palestinian refugees, and you're torturing and barbarizing the ones left in Gaza, but you're the fucking good guy. But you got the Bible on your side, that you're righteous, that you don't... It's okay for you to have all the weapons and nobody else to have the weapons to fight back with. It's easy for someone to attack somebody that throws fucking rocks with tanks and Black Hawk helicopters and drones and fighter jets and a industry that's developing weapons. That's simple to do. Anybody could fucking do that. You're nothing special. Attacking somebody with nothing, you think you're special. Defending what? From what? You're defending what? What are you defending again? Is Gaza lining up the fucking tanks on your border? Is Gaza flying helicopters in your country? Black Hawk helicopters shooting depleted uranium all around your fucking country? Like you done to Gaza? Did fucking Gaza go into Israel and knock down 90,000 houses in 20 fucking days? Show me a fucking headlines. Every day, it's Israel beating up fucking children. It's Israel imprisoning children. It's Israel denying the ability for ambulances with children and pregnant people to get in and get help. Wounding children and dragging them over to fucking Israel to hide them away from the camera and won't even let the parents visit them, where they're losing their legs and their arms and traumatized, bringing them into prison cells every night, raiding communities, and you don't expect some fucking conflict when all you do is encroach on other people and you whine that you're the fucking victim. You're the farthest thing from the victim. You're the victimizer. You're the bully. You're the thug. Over a little black book is supposed to give you some special fucking privileges, that you're better than everybody else, but yet you claim you're a fucking democracy, and you leave all these people in refugee camps, all these people in Gaza living in the most toxic place on the planet after you sprayed it non-stop with white phosphorus, with depleted uranium-238 contaminated with americium, plutonium, neptuniums, cesiums, strontiums, the most radioactive stuff on the planet. You're releasing X-rays and neutrons from the shells. When you fired it out, you created radioactive atoms, hundreds of trillions. There's more grains, radioactive grains, atoms, and particles in a gram of those uranium-238 shells than all of the sand on the beaches. You're polluting your own country because it flows back into your own country. You got nothing going for you. All you do is you make misery, you create misery. You're the 6th biggest weapons producer, and that made you the 28th economy on the planet by creating misery, by selling weapons to create more misery. That's all you do. You all head to work to create fucking misery. You buy stocks so you can create more misery. You keep the lie alive so you can keep your fucking check for another week or another year. And then you entice the crazies that is for a little black book. And that ultimately God is going to come down and save us all by destroying everybody on the planet. But don't worry, you get to go to heaven. But you're taught to attack the Muslims. Oh, you can go up to heaven and get your 73 virgins. Your fucking ideology is the world turns against you, God destroys the entire planet. You're no different. You're literally no different whatsoever, but much more dangerous. Your ideology comes for to destroy the entire planet because of chapters and verses in a fucking black book. And you think I'm fucking different. You think I'm the bad guy for saying this is what you're doing because that's what you're doing, because that's what I see, because that's what I've uncovered, because that's what I do. I research. And over the years I've researched a lot. And that's what I see. That's all you do. It's all around that ideology that the Bible says God has chosen Israel, the Jews, to go back to Israel. And they gather up there, and Ezekiel and all the other. So once again, it's like a hopeless conversation to have with Israeli ideology, because all of a sudden they don't got no way to make a living anymore. All of a sudden they got to go back to whatever country they immigrated from and get a fucking job serving French fries like the rest of us. All of a sudden they don't feel like the hero no more. Because how can you feel like a hero when you're fighting against people with rocks? Oh yeah, Hamas got rockets with no fucking warheads on them. Shut up. They don't even have directional capabilities. They're not even like they're shooting fucking shoulder launched rockets and hitting anything. It's all fucking show and tell. 10,000 to display 6 million, destroy 6 million people's lives. That's all it took. 10,000 Hamas to destroy everybody's life. Hamas is a friggin'... It was created by Israel to overthrow Arafat and then use it to demonize Palestine till the end of time, or to keep the crazies in line. And what do we end up with now? Now Israel just don't give a fuck. They bomb a Jordanian judge, and just to get rid of the attention, they go and attack Gaza. Oh, we gotta get the terrorists. How many times have we heard that out of Israel? How can you fucking attack people who don't got nothing to attack you back? Does that really make you anything? Only a thug? How the fuck are you something special or powerful or brave or a hero when all you're doing is attacking people non-stop now for decades who don't even got a fucking tank or a bomb shelter, who are traumatized. The children have grown up traumatized because you won't give them any peace with 600 checkpoints. You won't give them a fucking break. No matter what they do, it won't make Israel happy. Their job is to torture Palestine until the whole world says, Jesus, they're torturing Palestine, fuck them. And then, take their couple of hundred nuclear weapons and set off another false flag and try to destroy the planet. And then use that as a rapture or something when the war comes up, right? Go and watch Paul Bengley. Crazy fucking dummy. This is signs of the Bible. Anybody that knows religion and talks religion radio knows this is a sign of a Bible that Gaza attacked it. No, they didn't. All Palestine does is throw rocks. 10,000 Hamas are the ones that fire stupid, idiotic, child-like rockets that literally can't destroy a car effectively. Israel fired 25,000 155 millimeter depleted uranium rounds with a 900-foot kill ratio. Just before they launched it, though, they texted them and said, get out of your house. We're going to bomb it. And when they ran out, nobody got any shelter, they hit them with a fucking 155 millimeter depleted uranium round from those tanks. 4,300 tanks. 10 pounds uranium-238 is not tipped, is not coated. And so it's releasing, because it's chunks, when it finally gets there, it's releasing neutrons and X-rays. Till the end of time, it's creating its own isotopes right in those communities all over Gaza. I don't see Gaza using fighter jets to fire depleted uranium rounds into Israel. Israel is spraying it into their own country anyway, because that stuff is going to flow over there. It's going to poison their water tables too. They don't care though, because the Bible says that the world is going to turn against Israel, so ultimately it doesn't even fucking matter. All that matters is if you can get everybody to feel enough pity and hate Israel enough, you get to fulfill your prophecy, which is what your whole ideology and your whole country runs on, besides making misery with bombs as the sixth big one. And so that's all I got to say to you. And their spokesman is no longer here because he doesn't want to have a debate, because he realizes that he's a fucking idiot. And I wanted to come out here and have a debate with people. Instead, I had to come that route, because when you read through his comments for an hour and a half before it came online, well, the video was in the preamble, because this is a live stream on YouTube. It was the most, people tried to talk to him, and he was the most foul, wicked, disgusting, unintelligible mouthpiece I've ever heard. And that's why the video ended up the way it did. That's why we ended up with the conversation we did. And the video is yours to upload to other sites, folks, if you're not, if you want to really put out what's really going on. If you want to really have the actual fucking facts on the table, I just gave them to you. That's their whole ideology. 5 million refugees so Israel can exist. If they're willing to do that, they're willing to do every fucking thing else I said today. That's a fact. Right? They're willing to create 5 million refugees, attack the USS Liberty, and, just look it up yourself. The crew and the captain have came out and told the story over and over. Israel attacked them. And they tried to blame it on Egypt, but they couldn't sink it. And so, you're not allowed to have a debate, obviously, for the representation we got here tonight from Israel. That finally went away, because it realized how much carnage it was doing to Israel's name. But it's like that on every site out there. You go to any site right now on a story about Israel, and they're kill the fucking Palestine, kill the Muslims, kill the sand niggers, fucking kill them all, fuck them. That's what you read everywhere you go. They're not even trying to have a debate. They're not trying. They're not even intelligent. It's just childlike and childish rhetoric. Because of the Milgram experiment, they're all militarized, and so they figure under the cover of law, and they are, under their country's law, they're allowed to go out and be foul-mouthed and ignorant and stupid, and then the least intelligent. I've never seen a debate with an Israeli that was intelligent. I have never seen that. I've never seen a someone ask them real questions and they come out with real answers all you get is the nonsense and the rhetoric and the constant demonization of, you gotta, like Sarah Palin said, well, I think Israel should be allowed to take more of the Palestinian lands. After all, more people might want to move back to Israel, like it actually existed. In this little black book it existed. But they got 5 million refugees. At what point do they matter? They got no homes, they got no IDs, they got no schools, they got no university education, and never will. They've been doing this for over 50 years in these refugee camps. Well, 60-something years. And they're prisoners, generation after generation, born into slavery because of a self-centered, egotistic, idiotic, fucking greedy, stupid bunch of dummies that were paid to go there, given free homes and a free fucking ride that can't last forever. And so they need their prophecy to come true. Or they need to sell more weapons and create more misery and unstable more lives to make them look they're not so bad. Right? Literally all the conflicts out there are using Israeli weapons. They're the 6th biggest exporter. They used to be the 4th. I guess they reclassified some weapons as children toys, probably, just to get the numbers down, because that don't look good. That's something to be proud of. You're the 6th biggest weapons exporter. You got any idea how history is going to look at that one? Because you're not going to get your own way. The world's not going to turn against you. Your Bible prophecy is not going to come true. That's just meant to enslave you and keep you fucking stupid. Keep you hating. Keep you murdering, doing their work so they can rake in the money. That's all it's about. That's 100% what it's about. I'll tell you another books. There's 4,800 peer-reviewed academic studies published every day of 1,000 pages. Go read those fuckers for a while instead of just studying one book for your entire life, like the Torah or the Talmud or a fucking Bible. Go read all those peer-reviewed studies and you'll realize that you're being bamboozled. You're being tricked and deceived, manipulated under the guise that you're superior or that you're justice or that you're righteous. There's nothing righteous about attacking children with F-16 fighter jets and Black Hawk helicopters shooting depleted uranium all around with Abrams tanks and children soldiers. There's no morals there, there's no ethics there, there's no heroes comes out of that. There's nothing to be proud of. It's the opposite. You shouldn't do what your stupid, idiotic book does. You should be doing what everybody else on the planet knows we should be doing, is getting along with each other. Stop making weapons, because the wars will never stop. As long as you're selling it and pushing it out there and creating the conflicts, how will the wars ever stop? They can't, because that's all you do for money. Right? And leech off the rest of society. You get more money than all the other countries put together from fucking America. You're the biggest welfare fucking state on the planet, period. Because you got a million crazies. You got to support their children, their habits, their light and power, their security, their ideology. And you do that by letting them go steal more land. Where do you think this is going to end up? How do you think this is going to end up? Right? It's all about everything. All the attacks here tonight is about making money. All the attacks on all the web pages, these people are being paid to do that. There's nobody out there gives a fuck. Except for the ones that are paid for to go out and put gibberish everywhere. How many Israeli refugees are there again? None. How many from Palestine? 5 million plus. How many prisoners in Palestine? 1.6 million. How many prisoners of Israeli are there out there again? I don't know a fucking single one. Every child in Palestine got a criminal record. The list is fucking endless. Israel has taken 80% of the land that Palestine had. Israel had their chunk of land. That wasn't good enough for them. They gotta get Jerusalem. That's why they're building all those crazies, the houses for the crazies all around Jerusalem, so they can block it in. Because it's about an ideology. It's about a little stupid, insignificant little book that they use as an excuse for everything they do. They use for the horror. They use to wash away their sins and make themselves feel good because their little black book said it was okay, because their rabbi said it was acceptable, because that was good enough for them because they're still getting a fucking paycheck. And there's no other way they can make money. They can't get a job serving French fries. They can't go back to wherever they fucking came from because nobody wants them back there because they were fucking leeches. They can't make it on their own. They can't go out and get a job as a plumber and go to fucking work. It's too easy to pick up a gun and shoot at people with rocks. It's easy to fly a helicopter and attack people that got rocks. It's easy to grab children and throw them in the back of a truck. Their children, it's not going to happen to their children. They're not going to know what that felt like. They're not going to look at that child as like their child. They're going to take it in, slap him around, make him sign a confession, give him a criminal record so he can't get a job later on in the system. They're going to go and terrorize children in their house, drag them out of their house every fucking night in Palestine. Palestine don't go into Israel country and steal children out of the house and fucking crucify them. But that's what Israel does, non-stop. Their prisons are full of children, little fucking children. They kick them and punch them. Lots of videos all over the internet, constantly assaulting them, constantly shooting at them with rubber bullets, directly at them with tear gas canisters, constantly abusing them. What do you think was going to happen? How do you think this was going to work out? What makes you think that you're so fucking special? What makes you think you're so fucking righteous? Because you're a little black book? Shut your fucking mouth. You're a pathetic fucking insect. Not the Israeli people, but the freaks that are doing all of this. The freaks that are enabling all of that. The freaks that buy in all of that. Not the Israeli, not the Jews, but the creatures that can't turn it off because they don't know anything else. That's what they were brought up. They were indoctrinated that way on top of that. But it's easy to buy into when all you got to do is hate everything else around you and worship the little black book. Everything is fucking sweet and good. Anyway, there you go. I don't give a fuck about you. Is it Jackson? Fuck yourself. I'm telling you like it is. You can't argue anything I fucking said, period. You don't have a fucking argument. All you can do is come in and call me names, make fun of my names. All you can do is make fun of my accent. All you can do is nothing. You call me names. Because you can't even watch it, the whole fucking video, and pay attention, because then you might get a conscience. Then you might have to rethink how you make your fucking monies. You might have to rethink that you're the sixth biggest producer of misery on the fucking planet. And that all you do is deceive and trick and manipulate, and that you're nothing special, that you're just a thug, and that's what you do for a living. You bully people that don't got weapons. You don't attack people that got weapons because you get your ass fucking kicked. You're nothing. You're insignificant. You can take thousands of soldiers and attack people with rocks every day of the week. None of them are going to be heroes. That's what you do every week. You're not going to battle against anybody. It's a joke. It's an ideology that's going to fucking destroy yourselves. But the world is not going to turn against you. We'll catch you folks tonight on Fukushima. We'll do a live stream on Fukushima tonight in a few hours. But I mean, somebody got to come out and say it. That's what everything I said here tonight is a fact. That's the issue. That's the problem. Don't call me anti-Semitic. Don't fucking do it, because I'll come out and I'll destroy you again. I'll go for a whole hour this time. That's 42 minutes. And I never went into one headline. And I got thousands of headlines. Like a lot of people out there, we collect it. We look at it. And just in case, down the road, we want to tell a story, we got it. And like your story would take me fucking 60 days of footage. Because that's how fucking twisted you folks are. For every one thing that Palestine would have done to you, you destroyed 60,000 of them. But you won't give it up. You're doing it to every generation. You got all these refugee camps with 5 million refugees. You got no morals. You don't give a fuck about them. You don't give a fuck about the rapes. You don't give a fuck about anything. They got no ID, no country, no land. But you got land. You got ID. You got a country. You got a democracy. You got a paycheck. by creating misery as the 6th biggest weapons producer on the planet. And by God, that's good. The Bible will pick up all the other slack for us, keep all the crazies under their wing, and all we got to do is stay out of their fucking way. And hope the Bible doesn't come true, and that God comes down and destroys the whole planet. Right? If that part happens, you're fucked. There goes your pension, there goes your easy life. But those million crazies you got down there in Israel, they're working hard to fulfill that prophecy. Now they're in the military. Do you think for a second that they won't try to fulfill that prophecy? They have been indoctrinated since birth to fulfill their ideology in their little black book that the world will turn against Israel. And if they got to destroy the whole planet to do it, by goodness, that's what the Bible said. Right? Crazy fuckers. You're crazy fuckers, man. Anyway, we'll catch you folks tonight. 44 minutes. Felt better now because I had to get it off my chest because it's destroying the planet and me. Take care, folks. We'll catch you in a bit. Do we get to sign in double? Yay, Google. Google loves me. Yeah, peaceful nation. They make weapons. A nation that only wants to love, like the Bible says, you got to love each other. So we give them weapons so they can kill each other. No, Dana, so they can protect each other. No, so they can kill each other and you can get into war. You can sell more weapons, make more money, get back up to the number 4 biggest weapon producer on the planet is more like it. Anyway, we'll catch you folks tonight. Take care.